So in this video, we're going to talk about how to divide a polynomial by a monomial. So when you're dividing polynomials by a monomial, you want to separate the terms of the polynomial and then divide each term individually by the monomial. So if you're given a problem like 18x cubed plus 36x over 3x, you can take this apart and separate it and rewrite it as 18x cubed plus over 3x plus 36x over 3x. And then what we can do is use the properties of exponents to simplify. So when we use the properties of exponents, the quotient of powers property is going to be very important in this lesson. Remember, when you're dividing terms with the same base, the exponents are subtracted. So if we have a to the m over the a to the n, that's going to equal a to the m minus n. I just want to remind you that the exponent properties are only going to apply to the exponents. Okay, when we're working with the coefficients, we're just going to divide normally. So I want to continue with this example I started on the previous slide. So here what you would do is like 18 over 3, you just divide normally. 18 divided by 3 is 6. And then x cubed over x, that's where we're going to subtract the exponents, and that's going to give us x squared. Okay, and then we're going to bring down that plus sign. 36 over 3, just divide normally, which gives us 12. And then x over x, that just cancels because it's the same term. But if you want to think of it in terms of subtracting, it's going to be x to the 1 minus 1, which is equal to x to the 0, which is equal to just 1. Okay, so that's why our final answer is going to be 6x squared plus 12. So now let's try this example. Let's divide 15a to the 6th plus 10a fourth minus a cubed over 5a squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate this into three fractions. So I have 15a to the 6th over 5a squared plus 10a to the 4th over 5a squared, and then minus a cubed over 5a squared. Okay, so now let's go ahead and divide the coefficients. So we have 15 over 5, which is 3, and then we subtract the exponents. So 6 minus 2 gives me 4. And then plus 10 divided by 5 is 2, and then a to the 4 minus 2, which is 2. And then minus, okay, here we have like the coefficient is basically 1, right? So 1 over 5 is just going to be 1 over 5. And then a cubed over a squared is just a. So this is one way to write the final fully simplified form of the answer, or you can rewrite it as 3a to the 4th plus 2a squared, and then minus a over 5. Okay, either way, you have the same thing. Okay, now let's simplify this problem. So we have 6y cubed over 12y to the 8th. And so we can think about this as kind of being like two fractions, right? So 6y cubed over 12y to the 8th, and we can just take it apart. So 6 over 12, well, 6 is not divisible by 12, but I can go ahead and reduce this like it's a fraction. So 6 goes into 6, and then 6 goes into 12 twice. So I just have 1/2. And then y cubed over y to the 8th, when I subtract the exponents, I have y to the negative 5. So remember, a negative exponent means the reciprocal, so I can just rewrite this as 1 over 2y to the 5th, right? So if I move it to the denominator, it's going to have a positive exponent. Now let's try this example. We have 15x cubed plus 10x squared minus 15x plus 25 divided by 5x. So if you want to, you can just rewrite this as like one giant division problem, and then you'll probably see what I'm going to do next here. So I'm just going to write this all over 5x. And you see when I rewrite it this way, I'm just going to go ahead and break it apart into separate fractions. So I have 15x cubed over 5x plus 10x squared over 5x minus 15x over 5x plus 25 over 5x. Okay, so 15x cubed over 5x, 15 over 5 gives me 3. And then x to the third over x to the 1, that's going to be x squared, right? Because 3 minus 1 is 2. Plus 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then I have to subtract these exponents. So I just have x to the 1, which is x. And then minus 15 over 5 is 3. And then x over x will just cancel. And then plus 25 over 5 is 5. But then there's nothing to simplify that x with, right? So that x is just going to stay in the denominator.